Being a working photographer and videographer, I've always sort of scoffed at the idea of using an iPhone for photo and video. But after using this iPhone 17 Pro and finding a few accessories that work amazingly with it, I really am starting to come around on using my iPhone for almost everything. In this video today, I'm going to show you the accessories that changed how I view working with the iPhone. This is now not limited to only the iPhone. These accessories surely will work whichever platform you're on, whether it be Android or Apple. After running out of space within that first week, I knew I had to find a solution. And actually, Insta360 had just released the 512 gigabyte SSD called the Quick Reader, and I actually asked them if they would send it to me to review to you guys. On this channel, I only review things that I would personally use myself, and this is something that I desperately needed. The 512 card reader is actually co-developed by Lexar, and it is pretty similar to the Go series that Lexar has, but this one actually pairs better with several different cameras that you may have. Being an Insta360 device, they have actually an attachment that allows you to use it on the X4 Air, also the X5, and also the Ace Pro 2. With these devices, there's actually an attachment that allows you to get a weather-tight seal when using them. Keep in mind, this seal is only for light amounts of dust and rain. Do not submerge it. With the name of the Quick Reader, it better live up to its name, and this device certainly does with 420 read and write speed. Now with this device only weighing 5.4 grams and a total price of $199 in Canada, it's actually a really good deal, and I think based on the storage space and the overall size, portability, I think this is one of the better deals in the market, considering you'll actually be using this device daily instead of leaving it at home because the other system created possibly too much bulk or size to want to use all that often. The Samsung T5 is about 28% faster, but it's also around 10 times heavier, and that's not even including the mounting apparatus that you'll have to attach the Samsung T5 to, and also the Condor Blue cable that allows high read and write speed. Now looking at these two different setups, it's pretty easy to see how portable the Insta360 Quick Reader is. My highest bitrate device is using my iPhone in the raw HQ file at max. I'm going to test it out now, shooting in 60 frames, 4K, and also 30 frames per second. Let's see how much time we can get out of both the Insta360 Quick Reader and also the Samsung T5 to see what sort of trade-offs we get and what our shut-off times are like. Now please just ignore the hair stuck between my screensaver and my screen. My life is filled with hair thanks to my dog. But you can see already the Samsung T5 on the top with that Condor Blue cable has already crapped out, while the Quick Reader is still going strong. I managed to only pull 16 seconds out of this Quick Reader, but it's still pretty impressive for what it is. Now looking at the results, one would assume my Samsung T5's on its way to the afterlife. Now over to 4K 30. The Samsung T5 died almost immediately, with the Quick Reader actually not dying out at all. I had it running for a few minutes and then I just turned it off. Now, because I spent so long researching different ways to get around the storage issue, I know people in the comments are going to likely mention using a micro SD card reader and then using micro SD cards, but you should know that you actually can't record ProRes RAW due to the overall bit rate that it requires. Now, at all the devices I'm going to mention today, this Quick Reader I think was probably the most important for me because it actually got me out there recording stuff with my iPhone. The way I look at it, if I'm not recording in ProRes RAW, then I might as well have just kept my iPhone 15 Pro Max that I had before. The Insta360, I think there's a lot of great things about this, but there are a few downsides. First of which, of course, it sticks out quite a bit. If you have this, say, in your pocket, it's going to move around quite a bit, although I do find that the USB connection is very secure. There's actually really tight tolerances, not allowing it to move around all that much. But obviously it's still a USB connection, and that's not going to be all that reliable when it comes to lots of hits on the side. Now, because this device is so fragile, I was pretty disappointed that it comes only in this box. When I opened the box, I found that it only came with just this white plastic that holds on to everything. And I think really for the price, it should come with an actual case. I 3D printed this one, but please, Insta360, if you're making something so fragile, you include a case to carry this around, because not everyone has a 3D printer to be able to make something like this. Now going on to my second recommendation, this is the Sherpa filmmaking kit from Freewell. And this is a really nice system. The amount of flexibility that this system offers, being able to telescope this grip out. Now the system also includes a lock-on magnetic ND filter and actually holds on quite nicely based on this, what feels like bulletproof outer casing on this spot here. Now this is labeled True Color, but we're going to see exactly what sort of color shift we get when using this. I should mention that they also carry a 3 to 7 ND filter with a CPL, and that will maybe do a little bit better midday, whereas this one, you may still need to increase your shutter speed just a little bit during the midday because it is only going up to that 5 rating. Now in order to increase the darkness on this ND filter, all you do is just turn it, and as you can see there, it gets darker. Looking at the function of ND filters, it allows you to lower your shutter speed to a range that is double your frame rate, and this allows natural looking motion blur. Now let's go look at the performance of this True Color VND filter. So now using my iPhone with that main lens without the VND, this is what it looks like. And now this is with the Freewell 1:5 True Color VND. Now let's look over at video using the 2x lens on the iPhone. When I put this on here, you can see there is a bit of a color shift. It's not too major, but you're gonna have to decide whether or not this will work for you or not. Now, one of the things I've been really impressed with is the ability to actually mount different lenses to get different looks on your iPhone. And this Freewell case actually has a 17mm filter thread on both the telephoto and the main lens. So I have here this Ulanzi 1.55 anamorphic lens, and you can just see how easily this screws onto the camera. I know there's a few different thread types for these iPhone lenses, but I think 17mm is the most common, so I'm happy that they included that thread size on this case here. So I bought initially this quad lock case that I use when riding my motorbike, and I've actually just completely thrown this to the side to use this Freewell case instead. It's just built so well. I mean, it's not cheap either though at $79.99. It's not a cheap case, but it is a really nicely designed one. Now, looking over at their action button cutout, I find it's much better than on this quad lock case too. So if you're wanting to use the action button, this case is a winner for that. Looking over at the rest of the buttons on here, they all click really nicely. There's no issues whatsoever with that. And this is a really nice solid case. Bringing it in and out is not all that easy, but that just means it's nice and secure. And they do say that if you are putting this back, to put the lens side in first before installing the rest, just like that. Now going on to the Freewell selfie stick, this is actually a brilliant device. The way that they design this is really quite neat. There's just so many different options of how you can use this. First off, it pulls out here so it can be used as well as a selfie stick. And then you can actually take this shutter button here and you can press it on this portion here. So if you want to actually use it in this location, you can do that. And you would actually just use this through Bluetooth and connect to it that way. Now, when looking at the mountability options of this selfie stick, you have 6/4 inch 20 threads, and then a hot shoe. Not to mention, you can also use this and attach it to an Arca Swiss tripod clamp right here. Overall, it's really functional. And I really think this is a genius design on this product. But there is one thing that actually worries me about this selfie stick, and it is based on an issue that I've had before on my iPhone 15 Pro. And this is actually based on the fact that these tension springs inside here actually clamp down quite heavily on the phone case. Now, while this is a really nicely built phone case, the tension and also that rubber grip it really starts to pull back on this section here. And that's really the best section where you should be placing that selfie stick. I find that this Sandmarc one actually works quite a bit better, and I don't notice it peeling up too much on the sides with this case. So I would just recommend you actually use the phone without a case, or you use another case that you don't mind possibly ruining. Quick disclosure, Freewell did send me those products free of charge, but they never paid me anything to make this review, and my opinions are my own. Now I should mention as well, Freewell has pretty decent warranties on their products, so it may not be as big of an issue as I'm making out to be, but I figured I would let you all know. Now, if I could possibly recommend just something that I find a little bit better, if you're wanting to attach this to, say, a tripod or a selfie stick, this is the Lanzi ST27. And I found this to be the best device when it comes to overall functionality, because it actually is quite easy to put on to your camera, and you can actually lock it up by cinching this here, so it doesn't rely on overly strong springs in order to lock it in, and it's still extremely secure at the same time. Again, this is the Lanzi ST27 tripod phone holder, and this actually is a really nice one. It actually comes with a hot shoe mount on the top. It's made of solid metal, and this one honestly can't be beat. The next device really covers iPhone's shortcomings when it comes to telephoto. Even with the 17 Pro, I don't think the telephoto lenses are as good as a lot of people make them out to be. I find that using the 4X on this iPhone 17 Pro looks actually half decent, but the 8x really is quite mushy. Because of this, I was really looking for a product that would allow me to really boost my range when shooting photos and videos. Often if I'm bringing my main camera, my Nikon, I'm usually bringing just somewhat wide angle lenses around 35 millimeters. Now this is actually a 2x optical system. So with the iPhone 17 Pro at 24 megapixels, it allows you to go to 16 times, and at 48 megapixels, it allows you to go to 8 times. Now, if you have an iPhone 16 Pro or a 15 Pro Max, don't worry, this will still work for you, allowing you to get up to 10 times reach. And I think this is equally beneficial, if not more, for those older iPhones. Now, each of these Sandmarc lenses comes with a case, so don't worry if you don't have a case with 17 millimeter filter threads. This case is designed to be the smallest possible setup while also still being protected. But I think with the price of new iPhones, I'm just not all that confident in the overall wraparound of this case. Sandmarc does make a leather Pro case that I think looks like a better option for me personally, but unfortunately I don't have that to review with you all. Now, my last video, I reviewed the Sandmarc lens up against the ZS100 Lumix camera, and this is very similar to the ZS300 that was recently just released from Lumix, which was a bit of a re-release from around 10 years ago. But it's clear in that video, by adding that optical glass in front of the iPhone telephoto lenses, it actually really increased overall sharpness, clarity, color reproduction, also providing actual real bokeh in the image. Now, I thought that it flared quite a bit in strong light, but otherwise I think that it really improves the image quality you get out of the iPhone's telephoto. And if you're wanting to buy this for close focus photography, macro sort of work, I would really recommend against it, because it is more of a medium to long range device. You can see from the images here, it's certainly not a macro device, but it's amazing what you can get out of this using an iPhone. Now, one thing I should mention, because there is quite a bit of optical glass in this Sandmarc lens, it actually adds quite a bit of weight on this side here. So using something like this grip, or even Sandmarc has a really nice looking grip called the Creator grip that you could use, and that would make it a much more stable platform to shoot on, unless you're attaching it to a tripod, which this also does. Sandmarc did send me that lens, but once again, they have no say what is said in this review, and they did not pay me any money to make this video. If you want to see that video where I compared it in depth with that Lumix, I'll share the video up here. This next device is a brilliant one when it comes to wanting functionality of a tripod or a selfie stick and not taking up much space. This is one of the best devices on the market for that. This brand is called Kamalo, but I believe this is just Chinese rebranded. I'm not sure exactly if this one's still even making them, but I will link different products like this in the description box with the best price I could find. But as you can see here, you can create that stand. You have legs for a stand here. And because I have no storage on this device, this Insta360 Quick Reader needs to fit, and it actually does. Fits, no problem there. Now you can actually use this because it's mag safe. You can mount it horizontally if you'd like, and I think that's probably the most comfortable setup when using this. But you can also actually use this vertically as well, and as long as you're not trying to tilt this too far this way, it doesn't really interact at all with the Insta360 Quick Reader. Now that we have the Insta360 Quick Reader on here, let's throw on that Freewell 1:5 ND. And at first it doesn't look like it's gonna fit, but it actually snaps on there really nicely. And this is not easy to take off by any means unless you pull it right off. Now with these three devices on the iPhone, would you believe me when I said that we can fit an additional one? The next product is the Gimbal CP5 Lite, and this actually allows you to monitor your footage through Wi-Fi and also screen sharing on your iPhone in order to give you a direct feed with very minimal latency between the two. Now this actually has MagSafe, so technically you can actually use all four devices at one time. As you can see here, I have all four devices on this really small tripod arm. I don't know of any other device like this that would allow this sort of setup, which is pretty incredible, honestly. I will say though, however, that the MagSafe, because this Freewell ND filter is mostly blocking it, it's not as strong as it could be. So by taking that off and then moving it over, it's far more secure when it's in this position here. You can see right there, it's quite a bit better of a connection, but it will stay, but I wouldn't necessarily suggest it. The Gimbal screen doesn't have any touch functionality, but you can actually take a photo and also flip the screen if you mount it on your phone and it say turned the wrong way. Because this detaches, this really makes the perfect device for solo creators that want to record themselves and want to view the preview, making sure that they're in the frame or they're in focus. I shot a video recently where I compared this iPhone 17 Pro up against my Action 6, and I noticed that the Blackmagic app, when using this main lens here, really struggles with autofocus. Because this uses Wi-Fi to connect, it actually offers a pretty decent amount of distance between you and your camera. Now the Gimbal CP5 Lite I bought maybe around 4 or so months ago, but I found this to be a really cool device. Although I don't use it all that often, I think there's a lot of people out there that would find really great value in this. Just while recording this video, there was a massive update to the Blackmagic camera app. Now you can actually use your Apple Watch in order to monitor your footage, which you could only use the default camera app before. With this taking up so little space now, you can either have it on your wrist or you can have it on your phone in order to monitor your footage. Just looking at how small the setup is, this is really one of the best ways to monitor your footage now. Although I will say that you do get some latency when monitoring your footage with this compared to the Gimbal. After looking at all these devices combined, what do you think of this setup? It's a little bit of a monstrosity looking at it with maybe this not being attached all that well, but by removing a VND, then it actually stays on there quite well, and everything else, like right here, this setup without that monitor really holds really nicely. And then if we want that extra reach, we have that in that Sandmarc lens. And I think this is a really functional kit that would be able to be used in a whole different variety of settings, whether it be casual, filmmaking, or even professional work. Well, as I wrap things up, hopefully I was able to direct you to some accessories that would complete your overall smartphone recording kit. Your phone is always with you, and I think that's the most important thing. Not always are you going to want to be juggling two devices at once. And that's why I think it's important to not overlook the iPhone. I have links in the description for the products mentioned today. It would be of great value if you bought through my links. It really keeps things moving over here at the show and helps massively with what I do here. Well, anyways, signing off, guys. I will see you on the next one. Maybe it will even be a Pocket 4 video.